everything that we taught, actually, you will be able to do it on your own right now, okay? So, so I am going to genome-wide association studies. I'm going to put that link in the chat. So Parimala, I am not going to get into ensemble explanation of ensemble today because it is actually pretty, it will take a little bit of time to explain, doing complete justice to it. So I'm actually to walk with you one-on-one, if that is okay with you, because there is so much information there that it could take a lot of time to actually explain. But if you're quickly asking what variant allele means, that you're talking about the ancestral allele, because I'm not on that page anymore. Very quickly, if that is what you're talking about. If that is the case, then that means those are the bases that have actually been found in that particular position. But the ancestral allele for it is actually T. Okay, if that's what you actually meant, right? Okay, so now let's get to genome-wide association studies, right? It's genome-wide association studies. Do you all remember why this project was actually done and what is to, you know, how do you actually get to genome-wide association studies? And what does it mean by, yeah, exactly. So compare variations, that is correct. So, but why did we get to genome-wide association studies? What is that actually triggered this whole project? I think I talked about it a little bit. And what do you think triggered this whole project? So we talked about Human Genome Project, right? And then we talked about HapMap project. And then we talked about ENCODE, of course. We talked about ENCODE project, but then we also talked about GWAS, right? So why did we come to GWAS? What was the main triggering factor that this whole project was actually started? Yes, exactly. So, so you and me are different. And a drug that is working in one population, actually to study variation leading to complex disease. Yes, Nimisha, yes, we are, but it is more to do with population, right? So one drug, say the two patients have exactly the same disease, right? So both of them have cancer, both of them have breast cancer, both of them are actually in phase 1. Yes, exactly, genetic variation, right? So both of them are in stage 1 of the cancer, and you're giving them one drug, right? That is the norm, right? But it works in one person, and the other person, it just doesn't even work, and the cancer is actually going. And of course, there are lots of other reasons to it. But what genome-wide association studies found was a drug that works in one specific population actually does not work in another population, right? So there is population, ethnicity related polymorphisms that we actually see in different populations. That's how this whole genome-wide association actually came about, right? Excuse me. So it actually it used to be at NIH, now it's actually moved to EBI. Now you can actually, in a click of a button, download this entire data. That is what all this data, I love about all of this data, is because you actually can download them and do research, which is actually, I just published a paper, or actually submitted a paper for publication using just genome-wide association, this data actually on inflammatory bowel disease, right? And then this gives you a summary statistics. And of course, if you are doing genotyping studies, then you can actually submit the data. But any data in genome-wide association studies is actually curated in a sense, because their standards are very high, that you have to do your experiments in triplicates so that you're consistently able to actually do this, right? And then we have all of these different ancestry information and all of those things, right? So let's actually look at the hemoglobin, or we can just look for sickle cell anemia. If there is any data on sickle cell anemia, right? So you get this, you can just click on sickle cell anemia and you get to this page. So there are about 6 publications, and there are so many different traits for sickle cell anemia. Traits means what are the different, we'll get to that. We'll actually look at the traits, right? So now we'll click on this and we can actually get to all the traits and everything else, right? You click on sickle cell anemia. Right? It may take a little bit of time because there's a lot of data, even, you know, I'm sure that it's going to take some time. So in the meantime, what we will do is, let's not waste our time. I will just let this be, right? And then what I am going to do is open up another tab. And then I'm just going to do GWAS again. And I will show you other things in GWAS. Okay, let's go. I don't know. Oh yeah, it is actually done. Is it done for all of you? Yes. Oh, fantastic. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so it is done. That is fantastic. Okay, so all of you have very fast computers then as well. So the trait is sickle cell anemia. And this is another database, Orphanet is another database that it's mapping to. So you could not, meaning Parimala, you're still, it's trying to log on, or it's still doing okay. That doesn't matter. Okay, it'll eventually come. So you missed the link. It is actually in the chat. I think I put the link on the chat. Did I? Yeah, I did put it on the chat, so you can actually click that link. Right? So what it gives you, it actually, okay, got it, fantastic. So what it actually gives you, it gives you all of these different variants. And then it also gives you a p-value. This is a statistical significance to see whether something is this significant or not. And you've all been told, I'm sure you've been taught so far, so many times, that this is actually very, very significant. And this is actually very, very important, right? And then all of these values, what is this value? Not available. Okay, so this is odd ratios. These are all different statistical parameters. And I think their manual should probably describe each one. And all of these different numbers, reported trait, and these are all the different traits, right? So red blood cell count, a density measurement, and all of those things. This is the accession for those, and there are so many different pages, right? So you have lot of information on sickle cell anemia. And now it says that each study, I told you, right, it is based on a given population. Now this study is based on 905 African Americans. So this is actually African American or Afro-Caribbean population. So this is also African American, this is sub-Saharan population. And if you go, I don't know if there are other ethnicities, so they're actually studied all of this on different population, right? So this is all, looks like it's all African American population, because sickle cell anemia is actually very prevalent in actually African and sub-Saharan places, right? So this is actually, so what you can do is you can look for any disease, or if you have a gene, you can put it here. You can download the entire catalog. You can actually look at the summary statistics and all of those things. The other fun thing that I really like about genome-wide association, search for disease, sickle cell anemia. Yes, you can search for sickle. That's what we actually did. And then if you click here on this diagram, right? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so if you click on the diagram, I really like this diagram. Wow, this is just amazing diagram. So this is actually chromosome by chromosome, right? Each one of the chromosomes, right? A lot of each one. This is chromosome 1. This is, so if you hover over, this will tell you that this particular dot is from adolescent idiopathic scoliosis, right? And if you hover over here, this is respiratory system disease. So which means allergic rhinitis, right? We all have this allergy. My daughter actually has this allergy right now. So this is all actually tells you what are the different diseases that are caused that belongs to a gene that is on chromosome 1, right? Can you see how full this is? That how, you know, we can actually decrease the zoom so you can actually see a good picture. So you can actually go through different things. Oh my goodness, look at how many, oh my God. So this is completely busy, right? So many diseases are caused by each of these chromosomes, have actually a lot of different diseases in them, correct? So now if you go here, you can filter by trait, right? So you have digestive diseases, you have cardiovascular diseases, you have metabolic diseases, you have all of these different diseases. So this is another place that if you are actually interested in a very specific disease, you can actually go anywhere here, right? And do all of these things, right? So you can actually, let's look at digestive system disease, right? If you click here, then what it will do is, or I'm just going to, so it is actually doing something. It takes a long time. So you can actually click on something that is actually, click on diagram on Jiva's homepage. Yes, that's correct. Oh, you're telling someone else, I'm sure. Right? So now I did digestive system diseases, and it is showing you that these, if you actually hover over, I think it's still doing. So this is, someone asked me for, we did type 2 diabetes, correct? So type 2 diabetes actually is this particular SNP on chromosome 1, right? So all of this is telling you can hover over and all of this. So you can see how complex type 2 diabetes or diabetes is, or any of this system diseases is. Metabolic diseases, I'm sure. I don't know why diabetes should be coming under digestive system diseases. So you can actually see that, are these all of them like that? Oral cavity cancer. So this is actually coming up with oral cavity, all under digestive system diseases, I think. So it's actually coming with all of these 350 different polymorphisms mapped on all of these different chromosomes, right? So did you all get this? I'm just going to wait for a second to see if you all actually got it. So now you can actually look for different things. So you can see how powerful this diagram is. This is actually the relationship between a SNP and a trait, and this is an association, and it says this is for digestive system diseases and all of that. So good. So any questions until this point? Because we still have like some time, so we can actually do some more exercises on UniProt. And I'm just going to give you a minute for you to actually get to this point, for everyone to get to this point. And I'm just going to check my notes to make sure that I've actually, oh yes, we have not done one more aspect. We have to do blast and phylogenetic analysis. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just completely forgot about that. Yes.